Hi everyone. I am live on our Tuesday talks. It's Wendy. How you doing today? Hopefully you can hear me. It's one of those crazy technical days again, and I'm having the worst time. I am so far behind in this technology, but I keep trying. I can't stop. I just keep trying. I'm like the little engine that could keep trying. It is so much of a new language and new theory, and so as soon as I figure out something, that's when it changes on me. That's just the way things work, I guess. But anyways, just checking to see if you can hear me, if everybody that's coming on is going to come on. I was planning on sending out a bunch of posts and everything else, but again, it was one of those technical days. So I haven't been able to send out any posts, and I'm not even really quite sure whether this is actually going live or not. So fair enough. We'll just do what we can. If either way, if nothing else, we're recording it and we're going to go from there. Today we are talking about ditching the bad habits and starting new healthy ones. And I have an extra special gift for you with regards to this little talk today. I am going to gift you a free download of a goal setting worksheet. So it's something that you can access and just download and either print out or just at least see the structure of it and how it's done, and then start working on your goals on a weekly basis, and really start seeing results within your life with regards to that. So when we decide to make some healthy choices and living a healthier lifestyle, it can be really overwhelming, and I see that every day with my clients. I see that every day within my own life. It is a lot, and the journey is not going to happen overnight. It is a journey for a lifetime. I started my journey about the time that let's see, it's going back to 99. So really my major journey started back in 1999. And, I was quite young back then. And, and then, it takes a different, you do a certain bit for a little while, and then you might fall off the wagon for a while, and then you get on the wagon again and you start over again. So another big shift on my journey was in when I turned 40. So, really changing the way I eat and changing the way I live and changing the way I, really work towards a healthier vision of myself, the one that I have in my head anyways. And it really is a lot of information. It is a lot of baby steps all through the whole process. And it's not something that can happen overnight. Life happens, stuff comes up, illnesses happen, big stressors happen in our lives where we are taken away from our main focus. Divorce, marriage, illness, job changes, all these different things are very, very stressful, and they happen. Kids happen, life happens. Our focus is not always 100% on ourselves, and it takes away from our journey, no matter how much you want it, no matter how much your heart and soul is in this vision of yourself. It does tend to take it away from your main focus from time to time. But as long as we continually try to work towards our main goals and continually picking ourselves up when we're down and moving forward and striving for something that we feel is better than where we're at, it is always a good thing, even though it takes us a long time, even though it takes us years and years and years, as long as we're still moving forward, because moving backwards is going to do nothing but hurt us in the end. And I've been there. I mean, it's been, like I said, a really, really long journey. My math is terrible. I'm not going to count the years, but 1999 was a few years ago now. And, actually 20, I think, if I can do my math right. And, and 40 was a few years ago as well. So a good 10 years ago. But there's ways that you can get past that, and it's ways to stay focused. There's ways of seeing your goals come to life, and one of them is to have a really structured goal system, seeing the big picture. A lot of people do vision boards when we have these great big Bristol boards with all the pictures, or objects, or our desires, our wishes, our dreams, and when we look at it on a daily basis, it imprints things on our brains, and imprints things on our whole being to somehow, without even consciously thinking about it, working towards it. That's why, back in the day, they always say, put a picture of a skinny person on the fridge, so it gives you that incentive. Well, this is a bigger version, a more healthy version than just the skinny picture on the fridge. Goal setting and really visualizing yourself in a certain light can really be so very powerful. And using this little gift of the goal setting worksheet that I've made up for you, you can really do it on a really weekly basis. Because the thing is, you want to have your big goal, obviously, that everybody has this big goal. We want to, be a millionaire. We want to have a nice house. We want to have, nice cars in the driveway. We want to have this beautiful body. We want to have our lives that are seemingly perfect. Those are big goals, I guess, for some people. But we just can't go from here to here. It just doesn't work. You have to do little wee small goals all the way towards where you want to be. It's monotonous, and sometimes it can be very like, oh my goodness, why am I doing this? It seems so silly, but there is a method behind that madness. There is a root cause behind why you want to do it very slowly on a week-to-week basis. And especially when we're looking towards something like changing some really ingrained lifestyle habits, like eating, it can be very hard to change. For people that smoke, or people that drink, or people that have these bad habits. And just stepping back for a minute, when we look towards making goals, we don't always try to incorporate new things. Sometimes our goal is to reverse and get rid of some bad things that might be blocking our efforts towards getting to where we need to be. So when getting back to the smoking or drinking and stuff like that, those are things that we really don't need to have in our lives to live. But food, on the other hand, unfortunately, is something that we need. We need to sustain ourselves. So this makes it very, very hard for people to change the way of their eating. And I get it. And it's so very, very hard. I am on this journey too. It's a learning process. And it's something that I don't think is ever going to change. I'm never going to stop learning. I'm learning as the professionals and the researchers and medical science is learning as well. So 20 years ago, we weren't so much knowledgeable about stuff like fat, perhaps. We understand now that fat is so very important for our diets. We understand that it's not just bacon and butter. It is, really healthy fats like avocado and coconut oil. These things are shifting, and they're shifting our views. And when we grew up in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, we were told, oh, fat is bad. And a lot of us, myself included, I still think sometimes that, oh no, I'm taking in too much fat. I'm this is not healthy. But then my logical brain, my educated brain turns on and goes, no, It's okay. I'm doing all right. And congratulate myself. And sometimes I talk out loud to myself. I'm sorry. I admit it. Um, my husband kind of walks around and he looks at me kind of funny, but that's just the way it is in my house. Talking to myself to be able to remain on the right track is something that I hope I'm not the only one that does, but that's just what I do sometimes. No, Wendy, you can't have that chocolate bar. I don't say it so loudly when I'm going through the grocery store, but I have been known to move my lips a little bit, and then I guess I get a lot of crazy eye glances towards my way. But anyways, way off topic. What my main idea of what I was trying to say was the fact that, there are practical ways to be able to reach the goals that we need to reach in our lives, or that we would like to reach. Um, we don't need to be millionaires. It would just be nice. We don't need to have, 6 cars in the driveway. Some people, that would be nice. Some things that we do need in our life, though, is a healthy body. We need to eat properly. We need to think properly. We need to envelop ourselves around people and a community that does nothing but lift us up and help us and support us and bring us all kinds of joy, and all these different things we do need. Other things, well, they may be nice to have, but they're not necessarily something we need. To have a healthy body, though, and work towards these really healthy goals, again, it is a baby steps. I mean, a lot of my clients, a lot of people I talk to say, I can't drink 6 glasses of water a day. What do you think I am, a fish? I get this kind of situation. To me, that's kind of a no-brainer. But when I started drinking water years ago, when I started my path, and really enjoying it and feeling how it makes you feel, and just being hydrated all the time, that goodness that you feel, it makes a big difference. But until you get from here to here, you're not going to know. And it takes baby steps. It takes baby steps to replace Diet Coke in your throughout your day that you're drinking. Some people have a very bad Diet Coke habit. I used to too. And it really wreaked havoc on my system because I'm very, very sensitive to caffeine. So it was just very much of as much as I knew it wasn't good for me, I was still drinking it. And it took a while to wean off of that as well. And it's going to take a while for other people to wean off of whatever is not helping them in this moment. So, you got to really find the root of your bad health habits. And sometimes bad health habits are as simple as, not actually even knowing what is good for you. Sometimes a bad health habit is a little bit more psychological, so more along the lines of triggers that might come up and, bring you to a point of binge eating, or taking in more chocolate than you need to do, just because it was Easter last weekend, or even taking in a lot more alcohol than you should at a time. These binges can have very much psychological reasons behind them. So, you want to really dive into that and figure out what might be the reason behind the fact that you need to have a case of beer on the weekends as opposed to 1 or 2. There's that balance someplace, and you really should be looking at that, or understanding why you come home and eat a whole bag of chips after a day at work. What is the rationale? What is the feeling, the underlying stuff that's going on when eating a whole bag of chips is not probably the best thing for you? So this is part of the goal system as well. So, working towards understanding what's going on, and then working specifically, setting up goals and a plan of action, and understanding. And then when situations come up, working towards not allowing your body to go right into the bad habit. So again, finding those triggers and then eliminating those triggers, and then hopefully bringing some sustainability and lasting change. Getting into triggers, I'm getting right off the top of a goal setting here, but triggers are one of the major components to why we don't eat healthily sometimes. And triggers can be anything from an emotional trigger, a familial trigger, something from the environment, something from inside, and even sometimes food can be a trigger. I don't like to really use food as an example for a trigger because that's something that we really can't get away from so much. Yes, we can put the chocolate aside. I really kind of think that there shouldn't be any restriction as far as foods go. So, just actually when I have my clients start their program with me, the BIT program with me, I actually, we go through some danger foods is what they're called. And when we look at those danger foods, these are the ones that could potentially set off a cascade of bad eating. So although I don't ask them to eliminate them, I ask them to put it in a category called danger foods. And for the time being, that's probably not the best foods to have around, or they're probably not the best foods to, have a little bit of, because then a little bit comes a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. And that can be very hard to stop at that point. So you end up having to start over at basic square one again. So those kinds of things have a tendency to be not so much a trigger, but they're just danger foods. And when a person comes to a realization after setting goals and understanding, okay, so this is a food that I shouldn't have around at this time. I'm not going to have this food because I'm trying to work towards a bigger goal. And when I reach that bigger goal, I will have successfully being able to overcome that bad food and actually have some of it, actually have a piece of cake without devouring the whole cake, actually having a little bowl of ice cream without diving into the whole bucket, and all these different things like that. So again, using this goal system for little things like that. So to replacing bad habits with good ones is another way that we can really work towards our goals. And a tip for this would be to ditch your bad habits while you're building good ones. So, again, something like the Diet Coke situation. So if you have Diet Coke 4 or 5 times a day, looking at that and understanding that you go off cold turkey, you're going to have a pretty nasty headache for a couple of days. You just can't just go cold turkey. And I don't advise that for people. It's not a healthy way to do things, and it's not sustainable, because what are you going to do? You don't want that headache. You're going to have another Diet Coke, and you're going to say, Wendy doesn't know what she's talking about. This is horrible. This is crap. I don't feel good. I don't want to feel this way. And your body just goes, okay, so what's going to make me feel better? It's going to be a Diet Coke. Well, so you're kind of going backwards as opposed to going forwards. So I say, okay, so try weaning yourself off a Diet Coke by incorporating a glass or a half a glass of water in between each Coke. And then, the next time, and if that seems that that's sustainable, and then you can do that 10 out of 10 times, or your commitment level to doing something like that is on a level of 10 to 10, great. Can you eliminate one Diet Coke throughout the day and replace it with a full glass of water? Can you do that in 1 week? Work towards it on a daily basis. 10 out of 10, your commitment's 10 out of 10, that's great. Put it down. The following week, can we eliminate 2 Diet Coke? And it's baby steps towards their bigger goal. Eventually, you won't have any Diet Coke, and you won't have to go through the crazy detox flu that people go through when they try to just stop things cold turkey. So, replacing bad habits with good ones. So, taking away the Diet Coke, but you still need to drink. What are you going to drink? Well, you have to drink water or herbal teas or some, really wonderful soups. All these different things can increase your water intake without actually having to drink bottles and bottles of water. So, you want to get rid of one and bring in a better one. You can use that scenario with anything. You can use it for having 3 or 4 glasses of wine every evening before you sleep. This is such a bad habit to get into, and something that will actually increase your weight as well, because wine just goes right into carbs. Anyways, off the subject again, but exchanging wine for some healthy sleepy time tea, to get a better sleep in the evenings. If you're using wine to be able to get to sleep in the evenings, because a lot of people do that, because wine does have a tendency to make us a little sleepy, but again, a lot of times we end up going overboard and having more than just one. We have 4, sometimes 3, whatever, and again, that'll just end up packing on the pounds, and it's just a bad habit to have. So when it comes to both breaking and building habits, it's important that you actually take things really slow, and that's where this workshop or worksheet comes in handy. Completely quitting sugar cold turkey might work for some, but for most of us, it will result in a relapse. And again, it's that cold turkey kind of situation, going from one day having all kinds of carbs and sugars and sweets and all kinds of yummy things, and boom, decide Monday morning, boom, not going to have anything anymore. Doesn't make sense to me. It can't happen. Because even if you get through the first day, you're struggling. And when you're struggling, you have negative thoughts in your head. And when you're really focused on, understanding that, I can't have it because it's bad, I can't have it, you get really kind of a resentful kind of situation going on in your head. And it's just that negative whole aura that you have put yourself in. And I pretty much can guarantee you, because I've done it several times myself, is by at least the second day, mid-morning, mid-afternoon, you will start devouring everything in the house, because you are just so overwhelmed with this need to have carbs or sugar in your life. When you wean yourself off slowly, it's a lot easier. It's a lot, it's more sustainable, and you don't even notice, because sugar is another one, like caffeine or wine, that really will put you through a heavy detox flu. And it will make you feel miserable, and you will question why you're doing this, and you will forget your main goal about being healthy, and it will just revert back right to square one again. I can promise you. So it's better again to just, slowly decrease sugar throughout the day, make some healthier choices. Don't restrict yourself so much, but understand that, okay, no, sugar's not that great for me, especially the amount that you take in. I'm going to make healthier choices. I'm going to have more fruits and vegetables. I'm going to have healthy sugars. I'm going to have, if I have a really sweet craving, maybe I'll have a couple of dates, as opposed to sitting down with a bowl of Cadbury's Easter eggs. It's choices, and when you know better, you do better, and it's really, your body really will thank you in the end, and it will, incorporate some really healthy habits that will build over time. It's going to take time. That's just the point of it. So remember not to be too hard on yourself, because yeah, nobody's perfect. That's the whole thing of everything. Nobody is perfect. You can look at magazine pictures all day. I'm dating myself. You can look at Instagram pictures all day and see the beautiful people doing their yoga poses, and you can really start feeling pretty crappy about yourself. Or you can see the makeup tutorials, or you can see the incredible boss babes that are out there, and just you tell that I'm just talking about myself here. Or you can really stop following these people and start living your own life and understanding that they're not perfect either. They have issues, and it's just a screen. It's just a video. It's just make believe for the most part. This internet is a wonderful thing, but yeah, there are quite a number of people that are make believe and inauthentic. I really try to be as authentic as possible. Maybe I come across as being, I don't know even what I come across as, but I try anyways to be authentic. So remember not to be too hard on yourself. Nobody's perfect, and you certainly don't have to be. You are already perfect the way you are. And that being said, being perfect the way we are, we always can have room for improvement. Small setbacks might cause you to give up your goals, but at that point, if your goals are too lofty, make smaller goals. Make smaller goals that you know that you can attain on a weekly or monthly basis. Make goals that you know that you're going to be able to reach. And then once you reach that goal, celebrate. Celebrate with everything that you are so proud of yourself, and that you can accomplish it. And it gives you a mind frame of, maybe my big goal is attainable. Maybe that, feeling that knowing that you will someday be a millionaire will actually happen. You have to put a lot of elbow grease into it. You have to really work hard, but someday it will happen, because you know that you were able to finish this goal. You were able to finish this goal. You were able to finish this goal. You killed this goal. And, that's a big chunk of time that you were able to do every one of those goals that you set up for yourself. The big goal, it takes up the little goals to get there. So small setbacks might cause you to give up altogether, but I don't want you to do that. Just make goals that you know that you can reach. And don't let the small ones get past you. Stay focused, remain, make yourself that vision board if you have a hard time focusing on anything. I'm just looking up at my wall. I don't have one now, but I've had one in the past where I put it up on my office wall and I look at it. My eyes just glance up towards it and I'm like, oh, okay, that's why I'm sitting here doing this 18 hours a day on the computer trying to figure things out. That's why, that's why I go for a walk on a daily basis with my dog. That's why I, eat salads 4, 5, 6 days a week. When I would rather be having, fettuccine Alfredo or something like that. There's a why behind it, and coming back to your why is always so, so very important. So, take a few of these tips to breaking your old habits, build some new ones, stay with it, and I can, I'm not going to guarantee you, but I can pretty much tell you that, you are going to be able to see some changes in your life. You're going to be able to see some positivity start filling your life. And that's what this is all about. I don't think life is for us to just sit back and let it happen. I believe that we are here to make the most of our lives, to excel, to push, to question, educate, to learn, to, be of service to our other human beings. I believe these are all things that are what we're meant to do. And becoming very complacent and living a day-to-day life and without any kind of growth makes us very stagnant, and things that are stagnant tend to die. So um, things that have no growth, no willpower, no, not willpower, no will to grow, and just with complacency sitting and just, one of these, it's you're not going to go anywhere in life, and I don't think life is meant for that. So challenge yourself a little bit, really dive a little bit deeper and see what your goals are. What is it that you really want with regards to your health? What is it that you really want with regards to your life? And make the baby steps and start working towards that. Grab the worksheet that I have for you, and I'll put the link in here, and just sit down and start it up. If you ever want to sit down and chat with me a little bit more, my door is always open. You can come over and come over to Two Souls and sit down and chat with me, and we can discuss what your goals are and see how I can help you get to the health goals that you really want to reach. A lot of times, goal setting is very, very important, but there's other things, there's other aspects of being able to get to where you need to be that have to come into play sometimes. Professional accountability, planning and prepping, all these different things, they really are needed. Community is another one that's really, really important, and that's why I have the Transform Your Health with Wendy community group, just because you need all these different things to help you be the best that you can be. So I hope this was kind of helpful. I know not too many people came on, but that's okay, because it's going to be in the replay. And just know that I'm here for you whenever you need to talk or you have any questions. If you're not understanding the goal worksheet, the SMART goal worksheet that I set up for you, just send me a little message and I'll help you out with that as best I can. And have a wonderful rainy day today. Bye.